Hi guys, I'm VK. I hope you all fine. This is Docker series. If you are new to this series, first go to watch my previous video. I have already explained about Docker container, Docker CLI, and Docker host, and Docker commands, and Docker hub, Docker architecture. I have covered everything. So today we're going to learn Docker volume. So before we learn Docker volume, we should know why I need to learn this. I give you a simple example why this Docker volume comes in. So in my previous video, I already explained about the Docker containers. And Docker container is a microcomputer. Okay, that computer needs a volume. So which is our computer have storage, right? So the same, the container needs volume. For example, this is a database container. So how to create a database container by using Docker file. In my previous video, I already explained about the Docker file commands. If you have any doubt on Docker file commands, so go to watch my previous video, which is a part 4 and part 4 continuation. So by using from and some configuration commands. So by using that Docker file, I'm going to create a Docker image. By using that Docker image, I'm going to create a Docker volume. So this is the Docker volume look like. This is a Docker container looks like. So what is this container? So this is a database container. So where all the client data will be stored. Okay, now example. Simple story. This is my client. Okay, the client asked me to create a container which is a MySQL container. Okay, so I have the client have an application. So all the client data will be stored in this Docker container. Okay, one day this container died. Now you may ask, why this container need to die? So container is a ephemeral. So which is, it may die, it may not die. So that's why everyone go to Kubernetes. Kubernetes has a read replica, which is if one container die, another container will automatically up. In Docker also there is a concept called Docker Swarm. But this is just a Docker container. So this container doesn't have any Docker Swarm or Kubernetes stuff. Okay. So this container died. Now your client asking, where is my data? Now how are you going to handle this situation? You may say, all the data in this container, the container is dead. Then how the client reaction? Definitely the client will fire you, right? So that's where this Docker volume comes in. So here what I done, I just stored all the data in this container. So this container has a volume. I stored this container volume inside this container. So instead of what I'm going to do is by using Docker, so there is a command called Docker volume create volume name. By using that command, what we can do is we can create a new volume. So that volume will be in our host machine, which is our local machine. If anything happen this container, if this container die, so my data will be stored. I can use this local data. By using this local data, I can create another container. So all the data will be stored. I hope you guys understand this concept. Okay, now go to this repository. This is the repository I am using this series. You get this link on this video description. Okay, so here you see a Docker volume is a persistent storage mechanism in Docker that allow data to be stored and shared between containers or retained even after a container is removed. Okay, if I created a container in my local, if my container is dead or stopped or removed, so this storage will be persistence. Okay, volumes are a key part of the Docker containerization because containers are typically ephemeral. You see, here you see the word of ephemeral, and meaning they are file system or temporary and do not persist beyond the container's lifecycle. I hope you guys understand why we need to know about this Docker volume. Okay, now why use Docker volume? So as I said, if you use Docker volume, our data will be safe, which is a persistence and sharing data. So for example, I'm going to create a one volume. By using that volume, I can use a two container. Okay. For example, database 1, database 2 I have. So I need to use the data from only one volume. Okay, if I map, I can get the data in my database 1 and database 2 also. Then performance. Okay, volumes are designed to handle input and output efficiently, and especially when the working with large data sets. Okay, now we go into hands on this type of volume. Then we will explain this key different. Okay, when we see this, I will explain everything about what is anonymous volume, what is named volume, what is binned volume. Okay, here you can see binned volume folder, name volume folder, and the anonymous volume folder. First we go into see anonymous volume folder. So this is an anonymous volume folder. Here you can see the Docker file. So this video I am not going to explain what is from, what is volume. Volume I will explain, and what is copy. In my previous video I already explained this Docker file commands. Okay, what is this? This is a OS, which is a Nginx. This is a web server. By using this web server, what we can do, we can host our application. Okay, where is my application in this folder? This is a simple HTML index page. Okay, so here you see I used this volume. What does this mean? Inside I am setting this is your volume path. Okay, and define a volume. This will create a anonymous volume, which means we will log in this container. Once this container is up, then you guys will understand. Okay, now I go into up this container. You don't need to worry about the commands. Here you can see the readme file. I going to perform everything. Okay, now we are successfully build the Docker image. I going to up the Docker image by using docker run -d with what is called detached mode, and I going to give the Docker name by using -- name. This is my Docker container name. This is my port. This is my host port. This is my Docker port. So this is my image name. Okay, here you see the image name is my -nginx. I going to run this. Now the container is up. I going to access this port, which is 8081. Localhost 8081. You see this? This page is served using Docker anonymous volume. Okay. Now what I going to do is docker ps. I going to log in inside this container by using exe, which is execute. And docker exec-it. What is called IT? IT is an interactive terminal. Win and bash. Okay, now I'll log in this container. So inside this container, I need to go to this path. What is this path? Docker file, I have already mentioned this volume. I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to paste this path. Okay, so inside you see there is a HTML file. So this content we are seeing here. Now I go into down this container. Exit docker ps. How to down this container? First we need to stop the container, then we need to down the container. Stop, and I'm using this and docker RM. I'm going to perform the same. Now the client asking me where is my data. Now what can I do? So how may I handle? Sir, your data all this in this container in this place, sir. So you can't say like that. So now how we retrieve this deleted container data? It is not possible, right? So this is called anonymous container, anonymous volume. Now we go into see named volume. For that I need to change the directory called names volumes. So inside this directory you can see the Docker file. First I will explain you what does this Docker file has. So you see this is from the same Nginx container. I'm going to copy this. Here I am not mentioned any volume. You see. Now readme. First I'm going to perform this. What is this? I'm going to build the Docker image. Then here you see I'm going to create a volume. So this volume is going to be my host, which is my local machine. So docker volume create, this is a volume name. So docker volume is created successfully. Now I'm going to run this. I'll explain what is this. Docker and -d means Itachi mode, name of the container, and a -b, which is a volume. So this is the volume we have created. See this? Here I'm going to use -1. Okay, there is a -1, right? Now everything is done. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it over here, and now the container is successfully up and running. You see this? Hello world from this purge is served using docker names volume. Okay, names volume means we are successfully up this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this container. Yes, this is a container. Docker stop and then docker rm. Okay, now my client asking, where is my data? Yeah, I'm going to replay. You don't need to worry about your data. All your data is under this volumes. Volume. Yep. See this? This is that volume. Okay. This is your volume. So if you want to inspect this volume, you can use docker inspect. See, your volume will be stored in which place? I go into here. See, now we saw this anonymous volume and named volume. So this volume will be stored under this volumes. But this is use case is temporary and short term storage. Docker auto managed. No need for user interruption. Okay, I hope you guys understand this anonymous volume. What is named volume? This the volume will be stored under this, and this is a persist storage and persist beyond container lifecycle and user managed by using naming and controlling. This is controlled by user. This is controlled by Docker. Now what is bind? So bind is nothing but, now we have created a volume. Okay, so I don't need to create a volume. If you go to bind, I'll perform, then I will explain. So I'm going to change the directory bind. So in next part, which is a Docker fifth part continuation video, we will explain more concept about Docker volumes, as well as we will see Docker volume commands. Okay, so I'm in this bind volumes. Here I can see this ABC folder and readme folder, a readme file and Docker file and HTML file. I'm going to build this image first. So image we are successfully created. Here you can see this. What is called? I'll explain you. What is this? Bind does. We will see. Docker run -d and -name, and this is a container name. This is a volume, but we are not created the volume. Instead, what we are seeing, this is a host path. This is my local path ABC. I'm telling to my container, you take, this is the volume path. Okay, so that's why I'm calling this path is a volume path. You see ABC HTML. So inside also you can see this index.html file, and if any data is changes, if any data changes is happening inside this HTML, that changes will be reflected in this HTML. Okay, if this container die means the data will be stored in this host path. It is not stored in Docker default path. I'll show you. Now come to this bind mount, specify directory on the host. Okay, you see this path, this volume var lib. Here I'm providing my local path, sharing host directory with the containers, and data persist as long as the host directory exists. If I delete that directory, our data will be gone. Okay, if the container is deleted, our data will not be gone because our data in that specific path fully managed by user. I hope you guys now understand. Okay, this anonymous volume, named volume, and binned volume. Now we're going to perform this command. Let's see what happened. Container is up and running 8083. Hello Docker. Now what I'm going to do is, you see, now I'm going to do some changes in my abc/html. You see here I'm going to change aluma doluma. So it's funny, it's a song from Tamil. Okay, now we're going to refresh. You see this aluma doluma. Now this data, I just changed the data in this local host, sorry, in my in this folder, but this data will be automatically reflected into my container without restart. I'm not restart the container. You see, I'm going to type like this. The data will be changed if I refresh here. So now I hope you guys understand this concept, Docker volume. So if you find this video is helpful, please subscribe my channel, so that will give me a how can I say, like, how to say in English. Sometimes I forget the English. Okay, so you do subscribe my channel, and if you find this video helpful to you, and also you recommend this channel to your friend. I'm going to plan a Docker series, like I'm going to create a 20 video. So that 20 video, we're going to cover all the topic, which is a core concept of Docker. So once you complete this series, definitely you will know everything about Docker. You don't need to worry about Docker. Okay, tada, bye bye. In my next video, we'll see Docker 5th continuation video. We will see Docker volume commands as well as a Docker volume concept. Tada, bye bye.